Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to the INSL awareness session. We are truly delighted to have you with us today. This session will give you a valuable insight to Innovation Nation Sri Lanka, a flagship initiative that connects students and young professionals with the industry. We are also proud to acknowledge our investment partner, Lanka Angel Network. Whether you are planning to join, still designing, or simply someone interested, today's session is designed to give you a clear understanding of INSL and the opportunities it's offers. A key part of those opportunities is our collaboration with the Lankan Angel Network, our investment partner, for their support in fostering innovation and entrepreneurship. Without further delay, let's officially begin today's program. To start off, we have an insightful session on introduction to IEEE Young Professional Sri Lanka. It is my honor to invite Mr. Kulunu Weerasoory, Chair, IEEE Young Professional Sri Lanka, to take us through this segment. Mr. Kulunu, the floor is yours.
And can you hear me? Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, you are the
And yeah, so let me share my screen as well. Just give me a second. I'll turn off my camera for a second when I'm sharing. Like I don't know. I think it's hope you can see my screen, right? Can anyone confirm whether you can see my screen or not?
yeah,
Okay,
the screen is visible.
sure. So hi everyone. Good evening. So I'm Kulunu Weerasoory. So Chair of IEEE Young Professional Sri Lanka. So I'm here to give you an introduction about the IEEE Young Professional Sri Lanka, the affinity group, and to that we have to focus on what is IEEE and kind of a thing. So I'm not going into details. So this is the hierarchy of IEEE. So the whether you all know that it's a global organization. So when it comes to the IEEE global, there are several bodies. So IEEE MGA, there are technical activities board kind of things, and we are mainly focusing on IEEE MGA, like membership and geographic activities committee, and under that we have several regions 1 to 10 this year. So and we are in the IEEE region 10 Asia Pacific. So then we have the IEEE Sri Lanka section, and in there that we have several committees and all. So SL mean the Student Activities Committee is one of the committees that we have in the Sri Lanka section executive committee, and there are Education Activities Committee, Professional Activities Committee, kind of several committees in there as well. So other than those committees that we have three affinity groups or special interested groups like guys. IEEE Young Project Sri Lanka is one of them, and the Women in Engineering uh, affinity group and the IEEE site. So there as we stand, and there are other chapters as well. So when it comes to the IEEE Sri Lanka, IEEE Young Project Sri Lanka, that we have a separate executive committee, just has uh, the Sri Lanka IEEE Sri Lanka section. So in affinity group that it function separately and attached to the Triple E Sri Lanka section as well, but we have a separate executive committee and we have separate uh, projects as well. So we have six national projects. So we have INSL is one of them with Hasindu chairing it. So, so when it comes to IEEE Young Project Sri Lanka, that we have three main domains where we uh, deliver our national projects. First, we are focusing on skill development of young professionals. So, for that we will be having soft skill developments for Let's Talk, and we are delivering it through Let's Talk. So, you will in the future you will gain many experience for doing few uh, sessions for Let's Talk. Actually, give me a second. And then we have technical skills development, focusing national projects. It for like young to niche professionals that we may call it as name Y2M Pro. Then we have career guidance for Sri Lanka students. Like it's comes when it comes to the Sri Lanka students that we have two major bodies like university students and pre-university students, like students in schools or who are after A-levels and after O-levels students. So focusing on the university students that we are having young to professionals group pro that we are focusing in several workshops for their transition to student to professional kind of a thing, like they are how to seek their first job and to place them in the industry, likewise focusing areas. And then we have SL Inspire, where we guide the school students about the domains and the career guidance that they need for their future. So in the domain three that we are focusing on enabling AI and entrepreneurship with national impact. And first one is the artificial intelligence. So AI during Sri Lanka has been placed in Sri Lanka, focusing on artificial intelligence with their uh, discussion forums, and also we will be delivering AI during Sri Lanka this year as well, like focusing on what are the upcoming trends and what you should adapt yourself with the AI and the AI boom in the world. So when it comes to the entrepreneurship and the startup ecosystem in Sri Lanka, that we are focusing on Innovation Nation Sri Lanka. So I think now Manodya will explain it more about Innovation Nation Sri Lanka and how it evolved within years and what are our main focus areas. So I'm not going to go into details, but when it comes to the Innovation Nation, that I needed you to see the whole picture. So I needed you to show you the whole picture. So the when there are a few other activities that we are focusing on, likewise IEEE Education Week Sri Lanka, and the SHED, the professional community meetup series, and the YPSL summit that we are delivering, like gathering all young professional volunteers for Sri Lanka kind of a thing. So these are the main events and the projects that we are delivering. So that's a major uh, like picture, like the big picture of IEEE Young Professional Sri Lanka and where it stands at the moment. So we have been able to secure many of the awards, likewise in the past, becoming very successful affinity group when it comes to the sections in the world. So and Innovation Nation also has been a very large impact throughout the years, uh, and we hope this year also it would be a great impact with the number of interested parties in today's meeting as well, likewise. So that's it from my end, and I invite you to join for our web, likewise for visit our web for more information, like that you can scan it or you can simply log in, visit to the IEEE and there we post all our sessions, upcoming events, like as you can sign up with those things. So that's it from. Thank you very much. So, thank you, INSL team, for giving me this opportunity. Hope you get an idea about IEEE for Sri Lanka.
Thank you, Mr. Kulunu. As a heartfelt gratitude to Mr. President of Sri Lanka for his insightful and inspiring. Thank you for taking time for share your valuable knowledge and for motivating all our participants with your words. Moving on, we now come to an exciting part of today's program. Understanding competition structure and detailed roadmap of the INSL 2026. To present this segment, I would like to invite Mr. Manodya Nabadawewa, Assistant Treasurer, IEEE Sri Lanka section. Mr. Manodya, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Litila. Can you hear me properly?
Yes, yeah, Adhikar.
Good. Right. So, welcome each and every one of you to the awareness program on Innovation Nation Sri Lanka. So, I think this is one of the, I must say, longest programs in Sri Lanka in innovation ecosystem. So, Innovation Nation Sri Lanka started way back in 2018 as a pilot project, which was initially started in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and then later expanded to Malaysia, Jamaica as well. But still, Innovation Nation Sri Lanka drives this ecosystem inside the universities in a meaningful way. So 2018 to 2026, we have came a long journey. This is the ninth edition of Innovation Nation Sri Lanka. It changed the uh, model of execution with the requirement depending on the different circumstances. As example, 2020 with the COVID pandemic, we have to convert this program mainly to a fully online program. In 2021, it was more like a hybrid program. 2022, 3, it was again hybrid, but more physical events were there. And then we had to launch provincial platform. Before that, it was a national program. We had everyone could have applied for that. And last year we tried out this university-based program, and this year uh, we are planning this and executing under this zonal model. Since now the Student Activities Committee has 4 main zones in student branch network in IEEE in Sri Lanka. So that's a very basic highlight on what is Innovation Nation Sri Lanka in terms of the year-wise execution. If I go to detail about Innovation Nation Sri Lanka, it's basically initially started as a program to get 50 uh, entrepreneurs, basically 10 startups from the university ecosystem to the startup ecosystem. So it's basically a program launched with an objective of creating 10 startups from the universities each and every year. That was the basic idea when Innovation Nation Sri Lanka program launched way back in 2018. But with the time, there was a requirement to create this innovation culture among university undergraduates in Sri Lanka. So I'm not going to share a PPT here today because I want you guys to engage with me, not just to unmute and speak. Maybe you can Google it, or you can use Gemini, ChatGPT, whatever the AI chatbot that you are using to verify the details that I'm sharing with you. So In Sri Lankan universities, we have observed that the innovation and entrepreneurship culture is not there. Yes, there are entrepreneurship clubs, there are so many innovation programs, but the culture is not there. But if you ask me, do we have a research culture in universities, or do we have a sports culture in universities? We do have those sort of cultures, but not innovation and entrepreneurship culture. So the other objective of Innovation Nation Sri Lanka currently is creating that innovation culture and innovation mindset among the university undergraduates in Sri Lanka. So when we do that, what will happen is automatically we will get more than 10 startups per year to this startup ecosystem in Sri Lanka. So why we are doing this? So there has to be objective to do that. So IEEE as an organization in Sri Lanka has the most strongest student volunteer arm in Sri Lanka, and also from the technological background. So IEEE, we have 23 university student branches, couple more are coming on. And then we have representation in all the provinces in Sri Lanka. We have more than, uh, I think, 1,000 plus volunteers altogether. I think 500, 600 plus student volunteers only uh, in all level, university to national to global level. So we have the strongest volunteer arm, and we have the strongest communication channels to the universities, especially again, I'm mentioning the students in the technological background. So why technological background is important here? So startup ecosystem in Sri Lanka valued around $250 million 3 years ago. Source was Startup Genome Report in 2023. So after 3 years' time, the current value of startup ecosystem in Sri Lanka is more than 800 million US dollars. So if I give you some figures to compare, the total budget or the cost that as a country we have spent for Lotus Tower is around 200 million dollars, and the total uh, cost for developing this Mattalaya port and Hambantota port is around 1.5 billion or $1,500 million, just to get an idea. So the current reserve amount, the dollar reserve amount Sri Lanka having now is around 7 billion US dollars, or 700 million US dollars. And the current value of IT industry in Sri Lanka is around 1.5 billion to 2 billion. It's like 1,500 million to 2,000 million. So the value of the startup ecosystem now has developed from 250 million to more than 800 million US dollars. So majority of that, I mean, almost maybe 90% from that are technology-based startups. So that is why, which is very important to have that technological background, focusing on students with technological backgrounds. That doesn't say that students or undergraduates from non-tech backgrounds don't deserve this, or they can't be part of this ecosystem. They add more value to the ecosystem as well. But like the majority is from the technological backgrounds. So why I have shared that stat with you is we have observed within last 5 to 10 years time, exactly the duration where Innovation Nation Sri Lanka is operating. There's a significant growth in startup ecosystem in Sri Lanka, but still we are waiting for our first unicorn. Unicorn is a startup values 1 billion US dollars, which means that 1,000 million US dollars, right? So it's basically half of the value of the IT industry in the Sri Lanka. So basically, idea of promoting this culture is to encourage undergraduates with technological background mainly to engage in entrepreneurship and innovation. That doesn't say that each and every one of them has to like start a business or engage in a startup, but to give that mindset, right? So maybe they can start a job, work there for like maybe a couple of years, and they can start their own business, own startup. And while they are working, they can start another business or startup, maybe part-time basis, and then they can uh, fully shift to their startup uh, while saying goodbye to their jobs. So creating that culture with the mindset. Otherwise, what people would do is like once they get settled in a job, so they don't even think about starting a startup. So the other reason is currently in Sri Lanka, there are 15,000 research projects approximately done by undergraduates in Sri Lanka. So all those 15,000 research projects, both state and non-state universities, are capable of initiating a business. There are 25,000 projects, but I'm not focusing on thesis. These are projects basically, right? So all those 15,000 projects are approximately capable of like sparking something to a business, right? So unfortunately, not even 500 people or like projects, people who are engaged with those projects are trying to, at least trying to test this out. Why? Most of them are doing this final year or these research projects or to technical projects just to pass their uh, examinations and to complete their degree. Their objective is to complete the degree, get the certificate and the transcript, go to the industry and do a job. But now this is also, it's been a bit vulnerable because there are so many layoffs and there are no opportunities for internships as well. There were 10,000 plus applications in last time career fair, but less than 1,000 internships. So that's the reality here. So we need job makers rather than job seekers. That's a different topic. But the point that I'm trying to make is there's a 15,000 projects that which has the capacity to at least test out as a business or a startup. But unfortunately, not even 5% are trying. Why? Now we are coming back to the topic of creating that innovation and entrepreneurship culture, right? So basically, if we have this innovation and entrepreneurship culture, at least we could have around 1,500 to 2,000 people trying this, right? If they have tried this out, I mean, maybe if 2,000 people try this out, 200 people will get succeed. They might really start a business or startup. Out of that, 20 might go to a stabilized level, and one of that might become a not a unicorn, at least a $1 million startup, not billion, $1 million startup. So by doing so, at one point, if we can encourage our undergraduate community to engage in startups just to get the idea, 5,000 plus startups, I think within 5 years' time, we will have 25,000 startups. Within 5 years' time, we have 25,000 startups. At least they try to be a startup. So out of that, we will have around 7,500 to 10,000 successful startups. And then maybe we can get the first unicorn out from this country. So if we get the first unicorn, it's like Sri Lanka winning the Cricket World Cup in 1996. So people then will start doing that as a culture, as a habit, as a hobby maybe. And then we will have more and more startups. And then these startups will convert to unicorns maybe If we take 10,000, maybe 5 to 10 startups, I mean, $1 billion company. So then imagine a startup ecosystem which values around 5 billion or 500, sorry, $5,000 million uh, ecosystem. That means like almost 3 times bigger than the IT industry in Sri Lanka. So tourism industry, we get around 4 billion, but there is an amount that we spend as tourists when we are going to the overseas countries. It's around like 1.5 billion to 2 billion. So there's a 3 billion income, net income that we are getting from tourism. So that's bigger than the tourism. So currently we are getting around like 10 to 12 billion export income. So it's almost the half of the uh, net exports that Sri Lanka is getting. So I think this is the solution that Sri Lanka can have if we want to move Sri Lanka up in the global value chain, right? You can say agriculture, you can say maybe different industry like healthcare, maybe hospitality. So like there are so many industries that you can mention, but technological implementation in each and every industries will add so much value, right? What we can do is like we can basically get a maybe 60, 70 acres land, have some mango plants out there and get the harvest and export it. But if we have the technology, we can build systems, right? So those systems can be replicates in the other regional countries as well. So by doing so, we can generate so much revenue. So if you go to India, so now even Tamil Nadu, they have come up with this concept called Startup Tamil Nadu. And Chennai is the main city, and they are having this main conference. And even second tier cities like Coimbatore also having separate startup ecosystems. So they are promoting this startup culture, especially in India, because this is the future. So, and in Sri Lanka, we also have to do that. Unfortunately, Sri Lankan ruling parties as well as most of the government officials don't still understand this in the scale it has to be understood. And maybe there are some issues with acts and regulations as well. But I do need to appreciate the effort by the previous governments and this government, especially the Disrupt Asia event, which is premier innovation festival in Sri Lanka. It was started in back in 2017. So INSL started in 2018, but with the government change and COVID, it was stopped. And last year we restarted that again. But INSL didn't stop. So now we have this ecosystem, but there's a huge issue with the ecosystem because they don't have proper channel to connect with the universities. Sri Lankan startup ecosystem doesn't have a proper channel to connect with all the universities. IEEE plays the role there. IEEE is the only organization in Sri Lanka to have a very strong volunteer community, as I initially mentioned, in almost all the state and non-state universities, key non-state universities in Sri Lanka. And also they have this Innovation Nation Sri Lanka program, as I mentioned, 1,000 plus volunteers and access to, I think, around 100,000 plus students. So basically, if IEEE can't do this bridging part, there's no any organization in Sri Lanka can do. So that is why we are having this Innovation Nation Sri Lanka program implemented. So last year we tried out different model, 25 universities and 3 ambassadors from each universities, which was bit hectic in terms of organizing and getting things together and implementing. We are still not there as an organization. We don't have that capacity to deliver in that level. But this year, I really do appreciate the organizing committee's approach. So they are following up on the zonal model in the student activities committee, and they are organizing these competitions in quarterly zonal model, four competitions initially, and then they get the top three business stage teams and idea stage teams from each zone to the quarterfinal, and then they are having the semi-final, final, and then the investor launch. So this is a very wonderful implementation. So I believe we have organizing committee members, university ambassadors, to potential participants and previous year's participants and winners may be here as well. So what I see is this year, I believe this is more structured and more opportunities and more learning curve initial stage. So you will have to organize this, the competition organizers and the potential participants, they have to take part in the competition, the zonal competition, and then the top three teams from each stage, both idea stage and the business stage, will qualify for the quarterfinals. So three from each zone, 12 uh, winners from idea stage and 12 winners from business stage comes to the quarterfinal. And then they will conduct some very insightful workshops, and then they will go to semi-final, final round. And along with that, there's a mentoring program as well. So I have seen Lasita raised his hand. Lasita, do you have any questions you can ask here?
No, I'm sorry, just a mistake.
All
I
right,
will ask
okay,
questions.
that's fine.
I will ask questions.
Okay, okay, sure. We you can ask any questions after the session as well. Okay, right. All right. So and then we have Lanka Angel Investors Network as investment partner this year. Last year we had Neo Ventures. I think probably this year also we can get their support uh, in the investor launch as well. Right. So regarding the program, I think hustle story is also one of very important sessions. So programs that you can attend, because there you will get the real story, the real hustle story of real entrepreneurs who were born from university ecosystem in Sri Lanka. So I encourage each and every one of you to participate in those sessions as well. So what you will get from participating in INSL competition, if you are an organizing committee member, the exposure, the network, and the knowledge you get from this process is massive. Right? It's really massive. You will understand uh, moving on with experience. And for the participants, for the potential participants, first, doesn't matter you get selected to the quarterfinals or not, you will be part of this ecosystem and you will have more opportunities which is available in startup ecosystem in Sri Lanka. Simply that means you will get to know more about what are the events happening in startup ecosystem, what are the other programs happening in startup ecosystem, why you should be engaging in startup ecosystem, and how you can improve your startup yourself. And if you don't have any idea, uh, if you need to get an idea, you can get some help from people from the ecosystem as well. There are so many events apart from Innovation Nation Sri Lanka, monthly meetups to weekly meetups to different pitching events to exhibitions. Like so many wonderful events are happening. So one of the events are Spike Community Meetup. On average, they are organizing this like once in every month. It's the most continuous startup event in the ecosystem. And there are several other events organized by different by several different stakeholders in the ecosystem. But I'm not going to go in detail with that, because you will get all the news and the details moving on, going forward. And if you get selected to the quarterfinal round, this is very important. You will get those workshops from the experts, which will be very and highly beneficial to the growth of your startup, to the growth of your business, and to identify the mistakes of your business and how to convert your idea to a business. So it is very important you will have access to workshops apart from the general ecosystem information that everyone who's participate in the program gets. If you get selected to the semi-final round, plus things are there. First plus is the ecosystem, the awareness on the ecosystem or the access to the ecosystem. The second one is the workshop that you can attend. You can get the experts' idea and you can engage with them in a very close way, because only selected teams will get the chance this time. And then you will get the mentorship from different stakeholders as well, based on your product, based on your business, based on your startups. The INSL team will connect you with relevant people who can support the growth of your idea or the business. And then if you get to the final pitch, I think you will have a great chance to join the investor lounge as well. You get some small startup package. You get the support from maybe a co-working space, some small monetary support, and one-on-one mentoring sessions. And then you will most probably get a chance to go to the investor launch and pitch in front of potential angel investors. If you are capable enough, you can grab some investments as well. So this is the only program in Sri Lanka where a guy or girl who has an idea can take part, and also they can start from there and they can finish by securing a investment. I'm not saying if you have an idea, you participate this time, you can get an investment. Maybe you can, but the chances are very small. But maybe you get the exposure, you participate in next year, you can go to the quarterfinals, maybe semifinals, and you might miss the finals. But again, in 2028, you also can participate again and you can go to the final and the investor launch, and maybe you can secure an investment, right? If not, you can connect with the startup ecosystem. You can meet people in the Spike community meetup, go there. They offer free beer as well. So just to enjoy some good food, you can go there and connect with different people. You can understand the ecosystem, how it works, the real value of it, where they behave, where they connect with each other, the true experience you can get from there. And then you can have that spark inside you to start a startup journey. So that is what Innovation Nation Sri Lanka is basically doing in Sri Lanka, as well as the startup ecosystem in Sri Lanka. So currently, INSL program plays a huge role in the ecosystem, and you are part of that, especially the organizers and the ambassadors. You have a great role to play in the ecosystem, which will direct Sri Lanka to a developed country, or like to move Sri Lanka in the up in global value chain. So it's a responsible task, but you can deliver it while enjoying, because volunteering is something that we can do mistakes. All right, nobody is going to fire you because nobody is paying you as well. So you can do mistakes, you can learn from it, you can connect with people, you can build a great network, and you can see things where other people are not seeing, and that will add so much value to the future yourself. Trust me when I say, because I was part of Innovation Nation Sri Lanka since 2019 as organizing committee member. 2018, I slightly helped the organizing part in the final pitch. But other than that, I was not part of the organizing committee member. But 2019, since I was there, I have seen what happened in the INSL, how it evolves, how it changed with the situations, and it never stopped. There were tough times for INSL. There were many programs stopped, and most of them have restarted that as well. But INSL never stopped. It adjusted accordingly and continued. And now we have come to this level, and I believe this year INSL would add some really good value to the startup ecosystem in Sri Lanka as well as to the country. So that's pretty much about Innovation Nation Sri Lanka and why we are doing this, and why you should be part of this, and why you all uh, take this serious while enjoying your time with volunteering and participating in this event. So, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. If you need more details about when applications are opening and how the competitions are happening, I encourage you to connect with the organizing committee members, because they will give you a detailed document about it, and you can have any if you have any questions regarding that, they will answer your questions. But overall, if you have any questions, please do raise them now. And I'm very happy to see like around 90 to 100 participants in this meeting. So, and good to see like almost like more than 90% of them are staying this meeting till the very end of it. So that's pretty much it. And if you have any questions, please do raise. If not, like you can connect with me in LinkedIn, Manodya Nabadawewa. Just go to the LinkedIn and search Manodya Nabadawewa, MANODYA NABADAWEWA. So maybe the organizers can share my LinkedIn profile with them as well. So like if you have any concerns, questions, support, just drop me a LinkedIn message. I'll connect with you and we'll try to figure things out together. If you don't have any questions, we can wind up my session. So that's pretty much it. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Mr. Manodya. As a token of appreciation, we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Manodya Nabadawewa, Assistant Treasurer of IEEE Sri Lanka section, for sharing his valuable insights on competition structure and detailed roadmap of INSL 2026. Thank you very much for taking the time to guide us with such clarity and for sharing your expertise so generously. So now we open the floor for Q&A session. This is your opportunity to clarify any doubts and engage directly with our speakers. Please please raise your hand or drop your question in the chat. Kindly unmute and ask your questions. You can feel free to ask or please drop it in our chat box if you have any questions. So with that, I think everyone get a clear idea about the uh, IEEE Sri Lanka section and also the how the Innovation Nation Sri Lanka works. So with that, thank you everyone for your active participation. Now, before we wrap up, let's capture this moment together with a group photograph. Highly turn on your cameras and give us your best smile. If you are in a position to turn on your camera, please turn on your camera. Thank you everyone. Mr. Manodya, we had one question in our chat box. They are asking, does innovation like programming languages or domain-specific languages count towards submissions?
I think anything uh, doesn't matter, as I mentioned in the explanations, whatever. So we are not restricting you to specific domain. Whatever the domain, so whatever the specific area that you want, you can apply. There's no restriction in applying. It's only the matter of you get selected or not. So you have the freedom to apply. Yes.
Okay. Are there any question? Please unmute yourself and talk with us. We are looking forward for your questions.
No, that's not a compulsory item. Since we are going with the zonal model this year, so all members participating competition doesn't has to be from the same university. But last year it was a university-wise competition. In that case, yes, uh, it has to be a university team, and then we anyway had an open application as well, so you can apply not from your university, uh, but as open candidate to open team as well. But here this time, that's not a problem. So yes, team members can from multiple universities. There's no restriction for that. I think for the team, general limit is 5 members. Even the single member startups also accepted ideas, but generally it's 5 members. Uh, I think organizing committee should confirm whether they are reconsidering it this year, whether to extend it to 6 or 7 or to 4. Generally, it's 5 members, but organizing committee will let you know more details on that. Generally, it's 5 members, and individuals can participate as well, but they will be considered as a one-member team.
So with that, I think uh, that's the end of our Q&A session. So with that, as we near to the end of this session, it's time to express our gratitude. To deliver the vote of thanks, I would like to invite Ms. Tiromi Gunaratna, Project Vice Chairperson, Chair, Finance, IEEE Innovation Nation Sri Lanka 2026. Over to you, Ms. Tiromi.
Thank you, Litila. So, good evening, everyone. As one of the vice chairs of INSL 2026, it is my pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks following the successful completion of today's INSL awareness session. First of all, I would like to sincerely thank our guest speakers, Mr. Kulunu Weerasoory, Chair of IEEE Young Professionals Sri Lanka, and Mr. Manodya Nabadawewa, Assistant Treasurer of IEEE Sri Lanka section. Thank you for sharing your valuable insights and experiences with us today. Your session was truly inspiring and meaningful to all of us. I would also like to extend my heartfelt appreciation to everyone who worked behind the scenes to make this session a success. Your dedication, teamwork, and effort made this event possible. To all participants, thank you for sharing your active engagement and enthusiasm. Your presence made this session more impactful and worthwhile. This session was not just an event, but a great step forward building awareness, connections, and opportunities within our community. Once again, thank you everyone for your support and contribution. We truly appreciate it and look forward to many more successful sessions together. Thank you.
So, with that, uh, thank you, Miss Hiromi, for those words of appreciation. Before we conclude, allow me to briefly introduce myself. I'm Little Herat, and it's been a pleasure to serving you as the moderator for today's session. With that, we come to end of today's INSL awareness session. We hope this session has provided you with valuable insights and inspired you to participate in INSL and strive for success. Uh, this is great opportunity to showcase your idea, challenge your potential, and contribute through innovation. We warmly invite you all to take part, compete, and make your mark through INSL. Thank you for joining us today. Have a pleasant evening and stay safe.